What's up, you guys? Your man Barry Bondz back with another episode of the Executive Perspective. And as you know, we are in December and it's a lot of things happening right now. We are gearing up for the 47th president, Donald Trump, to take office right now. And in doing so, there's a lot of happenings in the White House right now that pretty aren't too kosher. Aren't too kosher right now. Joe Biden is up there in the White House and over in Africa, falling asleep on the Liberian president and a number of things. He's also pardoned Hunter Biden. A move that he said he wasn't going to do, he wasn't going to make. But hey, you know how they do. Say one thing, do another. He's also giving more money over to Zelensky over in the Ukraine, as if we needed 75 billion more of our tax dollars to go over there to help them out. No, we didn't need that. So he's creating fires that, of course, is going to be hard for, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a little annoying, aggravating for President Trump to have to clear up and create some solutions for when he takes office. All of this right here is just a spiteful move. Joe Biden, you're acting like a scorned chick. You are really acting like a scorned chick, man. Take the fact that the DNC did not want you to be, the Democratic, candidate, and just live with it. Just live with it, man. Just take the L and live with it. Seriously. Because right now you're doing all kind of stuff right now that's trying to hurt us in the long run. We don't need you to send more money over to the Ukraine so that they can start, sending missiles over there to Russia. We don't need that. All right. We don't need to encourage another war or possible involvement in World War III. We don't need that. So I hope that somebody can see exactly what he's doing, and at least someone on their side actually can see what he's doing on his way out. The last hurrah, kick over the water bucket before he leaves and stops him. Seriously, because we do not need World War III to happen. We don't. Now, I'm pretty sure that Dick Cheney and the Halliburton guys are pretty excited because they are definitely for war, because that helps to stuff their pockets with cold hard cash. And you see now why the Republicans were laughing at Kamala Harris when she said, well, Dick Cheney is supporting me. We don't care, lady. We don't. And you see what she's doing? Like, let's look. Just think about her character. Think about her character. And I'm so glad that we did not vote her in, because we definitely dodged a big bullet. Look at her character. There were so many Zoom calls when she was announced as the candidate, or when she was announced as, a front-running candidate for for presidency. Look at her character. $1 billion raised in a matter of days. Think about the other billion, which was in the super PAC. So that's $2 billion, $2.5 billion. Now she blew through the $1.5 billion like that, causing a $20 million surplus. Well, $20 million in debt she is right now. Still asking and begging for money weeks, a month, a whole month, as of today, a whole month after the election. Which is crazy, which is really insane. Lady, you lost, okay? You lost. You and Doug, go ahead on out to Hawaii, take your little vacation, and just forget about it. We don't want you. We don't. And then with the whole drunken video response or video to all the donors, it's just laughable. It really is laughable. It's low character. It's low character to no character at all that she's showing right now. These people went out, put out signs. They stopped what they were doing from spending time with their families to go out and help you to take this fat L. Took a big fat L. And shout out to everybody who voted Republican this go around. Really appreciate you. Those black men out there who really stood up for their wallets and their families, to being able to provide for their families. Kudos to you guys as well. You're the real MVPs out there. All the Latinos out there, I guess, they were bringing over all these illegal migrants. They thought, oh, we got the Latino vote, in the bag. No, you don't. No, you don't. People are smarter than you think. There are some people out here that are smarter than you think. You may think that there's just, people out here who sleep at the wheel like sleepy Joe Biden, but they're not. Okay? They're cognizant, they are logical and rational, and they see that these policies that you guys are, and the lack thereof, that you guys are trying to impose on us, they just weren't going to work. They weren't going to work for anybody at all. Not at all. But during that election cycle, I had a chance to, receive a phone call from a dear friend, one Charlemagne the God. He called me up and we were able to talk and discuss. I had left a message on one of his posts on Instagram. And he called me up and was just like, yo, B, what's going on? What's all this that you put in? And, me and Charlemagne have always had a great relationship. Always great relationship, great conversation. I'm not one of those guys that, since my guy he's famous, he's uber famous. I don't try to just, beat his phone down. Hey, Charlemagne, I need this. Hey, Charlemagne, can you make this happen? I don't do that. I call him, maybe a couple of times a year just to see how he's doing, just to see how his family's doing. And that's it. I even call him Leonard, because, I understand he probably has so many people probably call him, tugging on his shirt tails like, hey, man, can you do this for me? No. I keep the whole relationship respectful and professional. I do respect what my guy is doing. I'm very proud of him, and what he's ascended to. And, just proud of him. But we had a chance to talk about it. He's giving me some information that, I didn't know before as far as Kamala Harris and her background and his affiliation with her. No, he did not get paid. Let me rephrase that. No, he did not get paid. There was no money coming to him. So, I do appreciate, him upholding his integrity on that. This was just surely his beliefs that he felt that she would be the best person, for the job. But sadly, he was wrong. And, I did tell him, I said, well, look, bro, we're about to run the table, on Shorty. So, yeah, we were definitely going to run the table on her. So, that's pretty much, the gist of the phone call that we had. We discussed some ideas and, I was able to push back and, give him the conservative side of it. And, he's one of those guys that you can chat with in these type of discussions, and is very respectful. He keeps it respectful. It's no how many names calling or anything like that, So I do appreciate that. Greatly. But he had a chance to come visit the View the other day, and I'm so glad my guy set them straight. He set them straight. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen when he was on a couple of years ago with Biden, and Biden made that very disrespectful remark, if you're not voting for me, then you ain't black, and my man had to live that down. He was part of the wrong side of history on that one. He had to live that down. But he's made his stance and his opinion on Joseph Biden very, very clear that he is not with the BS with Joe Biden, and he can see through all the pomp and circumstance and all the irrational bullshit that covers Joe Biden. So I just want to play this clip here and, react to it and, let you check it out. So this is Charlemagne while he was on The View, and this is him.
Trump's campaign ads, for some, they're saying they were very effective. And in one in particular ad, he used a clip of View from The Breakfast Club saying, quote, Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. You say that line was taken out of context. I know it was. But it went on to become one of his most effective campaign ads. I'm also featured in one of his campaign ads.
Yes, you are. Your delusion is legendary.
He texted me and let me know that. No, it wasn't. But what were you actually saying in the clip? And can you please explain that? And how does it make you feel that the campaign used you like that?
Well, it's never good to be taken out of context, but I was explaining to my listeners how effective I thought the actual ad was. Like, the ad was effective before I was in it. I was just sitting at home watching football and I saw it and I was like, whoa. And so I knew the immediate reaction was going to be, people were going to say, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that. So I was explaining that to my listeners. So, it never feels good to be taken out of context, but what I didn't like the most was that they didn't do anything to combat it. Right. I would have ran the same ad and just said, Donald Trump, what is it? Donald Trump supports What was it?
He was the one that was supporting tax.
Yeah, Donald Trump
funded
supports
sex
taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. I would have ran the same
Yeah.
ad because it was legislation under him as well. And you know what else I would have did if I was our campaign? Since Donald Trump used me, I would have used Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said Donald Trump was a threat to democracy. Joe Rogan said he thought Donald Trump was, I think, unhinged was the quote.
Right.
You gotta mix it up. You gotta get dirty with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta muddy the waters.
But it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and he went on that 3-hour-long interview, which I watched minute to minute, from start to finish, with him and Joe Rogan. It was very good, a very good, substantive conversation that they had, and it really brought a natural light to Donald Trump, who was a brilliant businessman, and it did what exactly it was supposed to do. And you can thank his son, Barron, for coming up and being the mastermind behind getting him into these on these podcasts, on these platforms. I mean, come on, man, think about that. He wasn't even on staff, you know what I'm saying? So, that tells you what type of brains they had over there at the DNC over there with Kamala. I mean, I don't think they were thinking.
A little bit cost confusion.
Yeah. Let me ask you something that's going around right now. A lot of this conversation about President Biden are getting criticized from both sides of the aisle for pardoning his son Hunter, after repeatedly saying he would never do it. And a lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc., as if the other side doesn't do it. But what's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy, and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him. That's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop
pretty much
for a second.
Here we go. Let's go, Whoopi.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend?
No, I'm going to tell you what I...
Whoopi, come on, man. Seriously. I mean, your delusion just can't go into the stratosphere and just stay stuck there. Like, seriously, you're the same one that did blackface with Ted Danson. And come on, man. You were sitting back there trying to apologize for Ted Danson, this and that, the other. Come on, man. Seriously. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up, because this is like becoming laughable. It's like we're dealing with one set of irrational people, those who can't see or even think about anything being rational and logical, and then those who are pie in the sky, just, those who are really, with their feet firmly planted on the ground. Like, my dog can see that he was going to pardon his son. Anybody can see that. Like, come on, we're not stupid.
Okay.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And this right here,
And
this right here, people, is indicative of the older black voter. The older black voter is stubborn, stuck in their ways, and they just are so illogical, and they just have an apologetic, always an apologetic spiel to give you for anything that is democratic. And it usually stems from, them and the welfare or the government assistance, any of the handouts that are given. Because I truly think that black folks only vote Democratic because of the handouts, all of the freebies. Here, take this, freebies, all the freebies that are given. Because, in the black community, it's a matriarchy. Black women are running the black community. They are, just hands down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody respects their mama and their grandmama, and, they listen to them more so than, and then they ostracize, all the fathers, even the big, the granddaddies, and, they just ostracize and just minimize, their contributions to it. And that's just the way it is. And as so goes the black woman's vote, so goes the black man's vote, which I see now is starting to change. And I'm so happy about that because, men are supposed to run the household. That's definite. That's in the Bible. We're supposed to lead, not follow. All right? So I'm just hoping that the rest of my brothers wake the hell up because, man, we got to change this narrative. But go ahead, Whoopi. Keep spilling that stupid stuff.
that's my feeling. Because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just gonna follow the straight and narrow always. Because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying. You don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his.
Oh, no. By the way, I'm not mad at him.
But you sound like you're
No.
He's not a noble black voter, the older black voter.
One thing
That's how they are.
Joe Biden made a point of saying we stand by our institutions
Yes, I
and the
understand all that.
impartiality of the
Yes.
Department of Justice.
Yes.
Democrats ran on that. The same DOJ indicted Hunter Biden. How we shouldn't be saying it's corrupt like Donald Trump does. But then in his statement pardoning Hunter Biden, he says that it was a political pursuit by his own Department of Justice.
Explain to me why it is that when Joe Biden does something, everybody clutches their pearls. He's wrong. He lied.
Criticized Donald Trump more than me or Charlemagne.
Come on now. Now this right here is just pure stupidity. It really is. Now this is like, we're fifth grade again. Well, why would Joe Biden do it? No, Trump has been heavily covered in the news for the past 3 or 4 years. The lawfare is just unfathomable. At this time, there's so much lawfare going on against him that, I thought the guy was clearly going to have a nervous breakdown on the road to the election. And they were on his every move, every single breath that he took, they were on it. Even when he got shot at over there in Pennsylvania, I've heard them. Oh, did he really get shot? Yeah, come on, man. Seriously, this is the gaslighting that I'm talking about from the Democratic Party. This right here, and this is the type of voter right here, Whoopi, just like I see on Facebook time and time again, that are on there, just these crazy, I don't know, man. This stuff just pisses me off. It really does.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have criticized it more. I've criticized it more. We've all criticized it more, but you're missing my question. My question is, what is it that makes people flip out with Joe, but we don't have the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are flipping out with Joe because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing, but that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist. And I think this is also the problem when we pick sides, right? We've turned political parties into teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Ain't nobody more delusional than me, right? Okay? I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I'm not delusional. Well, no, that is delusional. But when it comes, but when it comes to political parties, if you pick a side, right? If you say you're a Democrat, if you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about anything.
I'm an independent. Yes, but that's not a monolith. We're not. Democrats are not a monolith.
Yes, you are.
When Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats
are wrong. So you don't think Joe Biden is wrong?
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has the pardon power, right?
I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg. I would never. I said that. I just think that.
Think about it. Think about it this way.
That's what I'm saying. And this is how it was the whole election cycle. I'm seeing people that are hitting me up on Facebook. Oh, you do all kind of messages, ad hominems, throwing all kind of insults at me, just because of my stance. Just saying that, hey, I believe in these policies, and they can't do anything wrong, and you about to be a slave, and you about to do this, and just all the sheer just buffoonery, just dumb thinking. Even my father was telling them, I don't know if we're taking it back to the 1950s and that. Come on, seriously, man. I know that, it was a hard road, in the 50s and 60s, even the 40s. But look, this is 2024, soon to be 25. Nobody is going back to any change. Nobody is going back to none of that BS. So I really need you guys to snap out of that little dream.
Can you reframe it in this way and think about it maybe in this way? The president has the ultimate pardon power. Every president has done this, right? Yeah. And so what people are saying is that Joe Biden is now a liar, as opposed to Joe Biden is someone who now knows that the person that is going to be in the White House is on a revenge tour and his son is on an enemies list. And so he is using his rightful power, his rightful political power to pardon his son. Now, is that a lie, or is that perhaps being pragmatic, having a change of opinion, as opposed to the president-elect who has lied almost 40,000 times during his first term?
Well, I can't say what it is because I'm not in
the moral high ground.
Now, we talk about this. We talk about Whoopi just saying, well, it seems like every time Joe Biden does something, they're on his butt. But look at this. You have this down here. Okay, look at this. It says almost 40,000 times during his first administration. 40,000? Who has enough bandwidth to count how many times someone has lied to the tune of 40,000 times? Like, come on, man. Seriously, this is why we can't even trust the mainstream media. We can't trust the mainstream liberal media and shows like this. This is why shows like this, The View, need to be canceled. And I'm just hoping that somebody, Elon Musk, somebody comes in, buys up this network and cancels these 4 individuals here that need to be off TV for good. Seriously, because they are just polluting the minds of those who are just looking for something to believe in. It just makes no sense, man. It really doesn't. And it just cooks my grits even listening.
Like, what's the faux outrage?
Neither one of them have the moral high ground. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. But when you are a diehard Democrat or a diehard Republican, you refuse to be objective about the other party. Like, it's like we're watching them do something wrong, but we're making excuses for it. We watch Republicans do things wrong and they make excuses for it. Why can't we just all be objective and call it what it is?
It's not the same.
That's it right there. I'm going to end that right there. I already took this way longer than it was supposed to be, but it just really heats me up listening to these women on The View. It really does. It makes me and that's probably why they've been on TV so long, because their views are just out the window, way out the window. They're very irrational. They're very stubborn, stuck in their ways. And it's like they look to this CNN, MSNBC for all of their news, and that's what they believe in. Now, look, I don't even believe everything that's on Fox News. I look behind the picture, and that's one thing that I want you guys to take from this video is do not believe everything you see or hear. You have to look behind the picture, because trust me, there is a full story that will unfold that you are not even privy to. But it will unfold at some point in time. So just hold off of casting your opinions about it until you've listened to, heard every single side, and then watch the developments transpire. That's it. That's the executive perspective for today. I thank you guys for staying with me. Shout out to Charlemagne. That's my guy. Pick up his book, Get Honest or Die Lying, and wherever books are sold. And that's it. You know my motto, positive minds move forward. Please like, share, and subscribe, and pass me on. Pass this on to somebody that you know. All right? Talk to you guys later. Peace.
And I'm fresh off the work, not talking minimum wage. I've been grinding for months and I've been jugging for days. Don't get stuck in the system, it's an invisible maze. I want the car with the curtains, I want the whip with the drapes. I'm a man on a mission, get up and grind every day. I know Joe Aviani, so I'm gonna shine through the shade. I know you heard I spit fire, so don't get caught in the blaze and get flamed. I was at the